Hey folks, I'm Sean Hayden here with Archery Talk, and I'm with Tim Gilingham, and we're going to ask Tim a few questions about what it takes to compete at the level these guys take. Tim, how does your practice routine change from spots to 3D?
Well, it's quite a bit different. For me lately, I haven't. The first part of the year is pretty rough on me business-wise, and I don't get a lot of time to practice indoor. Indoor is a lot of repetition. I'm looking for a lot of mental shot routine, a real solid mental shot routine, working on equipment that's really ultra forgiving. For 3D, it's really more about yardage. It's more, a different, working up a different shot routine, and a lot of yardage practice. I mean, I'll practice 15 minutes. It's not as much as people would think. I mean, everybody thinks we probably practice 6, 8, 9 hours a day. Levi might, but I don't have that option. So I try to fit it in. I built a range at my house, and I have targets at my house now. Probably the biggest tip I can give is get targets. I mean, you can't compete at a pro level 3D without targets. I'll go out and I have my targets in a big circle, and I'll just stand in the middle of that circle and judge around that circle, and it allows me to judge 30, 40 targets in 15 minutes. And I'll do that 15 minutes before work, and I'll come home at lunch and I'll do it for 15 minutes, and then I get my 3D bow out after work, and then I'll start working on, because I noticed if I just judged, I didn't really shoot my targets very much, and then I noticed my shot was slipping a little bit. So I start working on shooting 12 rings, and I'll shoot 14 rings at a specific distance to kind of determine what percentage I hit them. Indoors, never really been my game. I'm good at it, but I'm not good enough at it. It's a mental thing. I shoot a command style release, and I struggle a little bit with shooting the center out of a big dot. That's one of the demons I guess I have with the way I shoot a release. But for 3D, man, it's perfect, because my concentration is at a very fine hone level. And if this target out here had a little black dot in the middle of it, I'd wear it out. And it's a concentration thing, and it's something I have to work on that I just, I haven't really mastered it. My personality is not conducive to this style of shooting as well. I do a lot better in FITA. I would do a lot better in field and in tournaments where you're allowed to miss, and hyper accuracy is important. This is more of a par game, and I guess I lose my concentration a lot. And one of the things that I strive to work at, and I asked Ed Eliason one year. I asked him, one question. I said, Ed, what was it? If you told me to practice one thing, what would you tell me? He said, well, focused concentration. And the more I think about that, the more I believe that, because the number one reason I miss is because my mind wanders off.
Right.
And it's really hard to stay in this game for 30 shots or 60 shots, and it's the whole not missing thing that's really hard for everybody here. And just a few archers that have taken it to the next level and have gotten past that mental plateau.
What advice would you give any new archer that's coming in wanting to get started?
Well, the best thing you can do coming in and getting started is to get good information. Find a pro shooter that can give you, get you set up right. Anchor points, the most important thing you can develop early on. Learning how to, my wife, for example, barely shoots, but she shoots very well because I've kept things simple for her. Didn't talk a lot about releases with her. I talked about form, anchor point, what I want her thinking about. Visualization. I'm a big fan of visualization practice, and get information. There's not a lot of good information out there, and one of the things I'm striving to do personally is, as I'm putting a video out later this year that's going to give a person a to Z formula for putting a bow together for every different type of archery there is. I'm going to tell you how I do it, why I do it, and then some examples of some of the things that other people do. When I'm setting a bow up for 3D or FITA field or FITA or indoor, what the considerations are. But we need information, and there's not a lot of it out here. But find somebody that you know and respect as a top shooter, and get set up properly.
That's great. Folks, that's what we talked about here today with Tim Gilingham, and we appreciate your time. We'll bring you more from the Las Vegas World Archery Festival.